Hello, my name is Sean, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Tuesday World Meditation. Tonight you join me from my home in Finland. This sacred time and space is devoted to our shared practice of entering stillness together and of giving together. Let us first surround and protect ourselves with the love and the grace of God. Before we begin the meditation, I'd like to share a passage from the New Message about practice. Tonight I'll be reading What Must Be Unlearned. It was revealed to Marshall V. N. Summers on October 23rd, 1993, in Boulder, Colorado. What must be unlearned is your relationship with your mind. But this definition is not enough. You must be free from your past sufficiently to be able to move forward in a new direction and to establish a new and greater life than the life you had known before. To do this, you cannot take everything with you. You cannot carry all of your memories like a great store of luggage. The vehicle that will take you into the present and the future will not accommodate all of this. Likewise, you cannot carry all of your relationships with you, all of your past loves, all of your friendships, all of your family, everyone that you like, everyone that you dislike, all the people, all your memories of them that clutter your mind and keep you emotionally frozen in the past. Knowledge will break this up and call you out of your past orientation. Knowledge will free you, and it will unburden you so that you can be available to it and open to life as it is now. How can you value this feeling until you have tasted it? How can you see the need for it until you've seen again and again the debilitating effects of being bound to old ideas, old relationships, old interests, and old activities that no longer represent you? You must see the effects of having your memory cast over you like a great shadow, darkening your skies, haunting you, hounding you, and following you whenever you go. You can forgive these things because you can release them. If you cannot release them, you cannot forgive them. What is forgiveness but release? How can you release something if you're still holding on to it? The only way to release something is to go where it is not needed, where you cannot take it, where you cannot take it with you, and where it has no relevance and no importance. God frees you by giving you something important to do in life, something that takes you out of your past and enables you to establish a new life where your past pain and references have no bearing. This is what enables you to become free of the past. This is what enables you to have a new and greater life. This is what enables you to forgive those mistakes, those tragedies, and those disappointments that otherwise would follow you everywhere, haunting you and limiting you. To be free of the past is to be free of the mind that represents the past, which is to be free of your thoughts as they are today. This allows you to have new thoughts, new experiences, and to have a new beginning in life. In reality, this is what it means to be born again, to wipe the slate clean, to see things as they are and not as you've always interpreted them to be open to new experiences without being conditioned against them by your past fears and disappointments. Knowledge gives you this new beginning and this great opening. This is of supreme value to you. Please join me now in a 30-minute stillness practice. Take whatever time you need to read your own step and enter into stillness when you are ready. Nazi Navari Karam. While we're in this place of stillness, I'd like to share a passage from the New Message speaking about the messenger. I'll be reading from the beginning of the Revelation, the requirements of the messenger, as revealed to Marshall Vian Summers on March 12, 2013, in Boulder, Colorado. Surely, one who's called and prepared to bring a new message from God into the world must have a long and very challenging preparation. It is a preparation an individual could not initiate for themselves. It must be a calling from heaven itself. It must be administered by heaven itself. It must take the one chosen from their former life and state of mind into a new life and a far greater state of mind over a period of time. It is a preparation with many challenges and many tests. It is not a journey any individual could invent for themselves for their own edification or self-proclamation. Though many have tried, and certainly others in the future will try as well. God's messenger is no ordinary person. God's messenger is not simply someone who was called out of the crowd and given an important task in life, or asked to carry an important message like a postman. It is someone who must come from the angelic presence itself and be initiated into the world and be given time to develop as a human being, facing the pleasures and the hazards and the disappointments of living in separation. It must be one of the angelic assembly who can do such a task. So never think that God's messenger is simply some witless person who is chosen and burdened with a great and important mission. No, indeed. This individual would have to have a unique qualities and a greater association to be able to assume such a pivotal and important role in life. For here, failure is incredibly damaging, not only to the one chosen, but to all of humanity. For if the message cannot be received correctly and interpreted and communicated correctly, then it will have been corrupted. It would be incomplete. For you see, the message requires the messenger, and the messenger has to have the qualities necessary to carry out such a great and demanding task. If the individual does not have such qualities, then they cannot emanate the presence. They cannot carry the burden. They will never be selfless enough to sacrifice their own needs and pleasures along the way. Invariably, if they were not chosen for such a task, they would not be able to complete such a mission. Certainly, those who follow the messenger, now and in the future, may be prone to misinterpret and misapply God's new revelation for humanity. Sadly, that will occur because people do not yet have the clarity and integrity and understanding yet to be able to carry such a message forth beyond the time of the messenger. That is why certain people are chosen and selected to do this at the very center of the messenger's life. They too must prepare and meet requirements. They too must follow an inexplicable journey not of their own making. They too must face great uncertainty and opposition in the world. They too must hold the vision and the fire of knowledge despite the chaos they see around them and the tragic nature of the human pursuit for happiness and fulfillment. The requirements of the messenger are very unique, and we give them to you now so that you may understand this person, that you might recognize what is required and recognize that only one is given the responsibility to receive and to initiate the proclamation of God's new revelation. Once you understand the requirements, perhaps you will be able to accept this yourself. First, the messenger, before he even knows he's the messenger or has any idea of this, must be held back from giving his life away to people, places, and things. He will need to be educated fundamentally, but he cannot commit himself to family and career until his moment of initiation occurs, which would be later in his life, beyond his early youth. Therefore, he must be restrained, and he must restrain himself. He must honor the feeling within himself to be restrained. He must not become politically engaged. He must not become seriously socially engaged. He must not have radical views. He must be very healthy. He must grow up in a healthy family, but be able to move beyond that family and its obligations and expectations. He must not have any religious training or be religiously oriented particularly, so that his ideas do not become preconceived and formulated early in life. He must respect religion, but not become closely tied to it in any form. He will have to be willing to wait a very long time for his true partner and mate to arrive. And he must feel this and know this within himself sufficiently so as not to pursue romance or commitment in relationship before it is appropriate for him to do so. He must not become an ardent spiritual practitioner, for this will set in train preconceived notions that would only have to be undone later. So it is better he restrain himself and be restrained even from this. His youth will be ordinary, but exceptional in some ways. He will not understand himself or his motivations, for that could not be understood at his early stage. He will have to trust a feeling that will only be there intermittently. He will have to want things, but not have them without knowing why. While everyone around him is giving themselves over to people, places, and things, he cannot do this. He must learn about relationships, human passion, and the follies of romance. He must see people committing all manner of errors and mistakes without condemnation. He must wait. That is so very important here to understand. For who can wait? Can you wait? Really wait for the time, for the moment? When the rays of initiation would be shone upon him so powerfully, it would obliterate his former life and sever his connections just enough so that he could be free to embark on a greater journey. A journey not of his own making. A journey that no one around him could understand, except perhaps the very wise. He would have to study and train for this initiation. He would have to begin to teach the inexplicable teaching in the way of knowledge and begin to learn its fundamental and primary lessons. He would have to be intelligent, but yielding, capable, but ready for something greater without knowing what it is, what it is for, or where it would take him. At his moment of great initiation, he would have to be able to maintain his internal composure and to follow the directives that would certainly arise from such a monumental encounter. An encounter that few people in the world have ever had at this level of intensity. Only the Jesus, the Buddha, and the Mohammed have been struck in this manner, for they too have come from the angelic assembly, as has the messenger for this time and for this world. Let us spend a few moments together to be with Marshall and send him our love and our strength. Now see if there are others in the world or in your life who need to receive this strength as well. If so, spend a moment sending strength through another quality to these individuals. Nasi Navari Karam. Thank you all